Hey everyone, Pauline from Chronically Spicy, and this is episode 2 of MCAS allergies and blood cancer. I have a rare blood cancer that is called, one second, macroglobulinemia. Let's look this one up. And I'll screen share. If you want to be able to see what I'm talking about, it would be you can do that on YouTube because you can see the screen shares. Not sharing the Mayo Clinic as a resource because I'm not happy with them right now because this was diagnosed apparently in 2024, and I was not told that it was put into my diagnostics. I was not told that I was diagnosed. So, I had to find it myself. All right, so here is, let me see. Let's go to Restream. I'm going to share screen so I can show you what I'm working on because apparently I'm going to have to make this more in depth and break it down way more than I thought. Hello, Joanna. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Everybody follow Joanna No Banana. She is a MCAS advocate, latex allergy advocate, and she's just a wealth of knowledge in a variety of topics. So she's definitely worth a follow. All right, screen share. I'm on TikTok too, y'all. Okay, so anybody who wants to support me on YouTube, please feel free. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can try and monetize this channel. I'd be eligible at 1,000 subscribers as soon as I reach the right number of wash hours. So there's that. But let's go here so I can show you what I'm doing and explain what's going on. If you want to catch up, you can watch episode 1 of MCAS, allergies, and blood cancer on my Chronically Spicy page. What I am doing is basically going through the itemized list that I created and itemizing it even more for my doctors, current and or future, and hoping that by doing the research ahead of time, I'm potentially able to save myself and doctors the time and headache that comes with them just recommending medications that I can't take because I'm allergic. I'm allergic to a lot of things. The 3 main groups and the 3 main reasons why I'm allergic to basically existing are latex allergy, coconut allergy, and ethylene dihydrochloride. Those 3 things essentially make me allergic to fertilizer, so anything grown, filtered water, anything filtered. So if it comes from the tap, if it's distilled, if it's sterilized, if it goes through filtration system, I'm allergic to it because there's going to be coconut in that. Trace coconut, that is going to affect most people, but I got to be special and extra. So there you go. So I can drink 2 kinds of bottled at the source spring water. This is one of them. The other is Poland brand water. As far as I know, it's the only one in the United States that is not run through extra filtration and is actually bottled at the source. So there's that. I'm allergic to corticosteroids. I'm allergic to antihistamines, except for diphenhydramine intramuscular. Technically, I'm allergic to that too, because it's made with sterile water, of course. But with my allergies, the best option I have is essentially to go with the medication options that are the least harmful and least allergic for me. Okay, so that's what I've got. So I'm screen sharing on YouTube if you want to hop on over and join the rabbit hole research. I'm actually thinking of turning that into a sub channel, like a B channel, secondary. All right, I could just do a playlist if you want me to. Yeah, if you want me to help you research anything, I live for finding out the why behind everything. So if you've got a topic you want to research uh, and want me to help with research, if you are a subscriber, you're on my Patreon, or subbed to YouTube, let's talk about it and leave me a comment on the YouTube video and let me know, okay? All right, so let's go back to, so the first thing I need to do before I do anything else is break down the antihistamines, the corticosteroids. Let's just break down antihistamines and corticosteroids first. We'll do that, okay? So, one second. Let me go to, I'm actively trying to keep myself busy because I'm just a mess mentally right now because there's way too much happening for me to mentally just be able to process. All right, so latex allergy. 832 allergens right now, not including breaking down corticosteroids and um, antihistamines and other things, because ethylene dichloride is quite literally in everything. Hey, beautiful disaster. All right, so if you're in the medical world, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because even if if you're latex allergic, even if the bandage is latex free, ethylene dichloride is in the adhesive. You cannot make adhesive without ethylene dichloride. Ethylene dichloride is used in everything from dyes to the propellant in broncholators for asthma to natural rubber latex itself. It's in everything. And since I am trying to figure this out, I'm going to be online anyway. I figured I'd just hop on and see if anybody wanted to pop in and say hello. So, or just hang out and just watch the non-scripted free medical drama that is my my house subplot storyline for if that show is still on the air. Hey Talmaj, how are you? So I have macroglobulinemia. That means, one second. Let's look. Read this one real quick, and then we'll go back to the list that we're working on building. Because after I individually list all mast cell basically mast cell activation stabilizers and or treatments, and corticosteroids and antihistamines. Then I have to go in and I have to break down all of the options for treating the macroglobulinemia. I feel like I'm like tripping over words after one too many glasses of something with something I can't drink because mast cell activation syndrome. But macroglobulinemia. That is a word. All right. So according to, and I might have covered this in episode 1 on YouTube, but we're going to do a quick recap and then we'll move forward. All right. So Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, also known as lymphoplasma, also known as lymphoplasmastatic. 1 minute. Lymphoplasmacytic lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma is a rare, slow-going cancer that affects your blood cells. WM, Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, happens when genetic mutations change your B cells. Healthcare providers can't cure this condition, but they do have treatments that can manage symptoms. Oops, sorry, YouTube. Just swapped to the right channel. I'm sharing a source from Cleveland Clinic. All right, so what is Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, aside from a tongue twister that makes you feel like you're not sober when you are? Just trying to say it. Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, pronounced Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, macroglobulinemia. Yep, I was saying it right. Is a slow-growing blood cancer. It is a type of non-Hodgkin lymphoma that also goes by another name, lymphoplasma.
I hate medical words. I hate medical words.
Lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma. Laugh or cry. A rare cancer. Walden's. Oh, thank you. There, my daughter just threw me her mudkip. A rare cancer, Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, affects about 3 to 4 out of every 1 million people in the U.S. Why can't I have this kind of freaking luck with a lottery ticket? Why? I need that. What? Hey, rare disease day is 429. I think I need to start reaching out to editors that I used to write for. I think in Washington Post, New York Times, Redbook, Yahoo Life. I don't know. You can check my writing portfolio in my bio on YouTube, and I think I've listed it in my bio on. I know it's available on YouTube, but I'll add it there too. Okay, so 3 to 4 out of every 1 million people in the U.S. All right, let me explain something real quick, okay? Okay, because this is important. This is actually like important. Let's do it this way, okay? I was going through my medical records for my new internal medicine doctor / PCP / I don't know how much longer he's going to be my doctor, because I don't just nod and smile, and I don't come off right to people when I try to talk about things that I know and advocate for myself. So yeah, there's that. Comments were filtered to protect the community's experience. Just
So basically, someone doesn't know how to mind their manners because mommy never taught them. Okay.
Just don't be an a-hole. That's all you got to do. Just don't be an a-hole. People
But
are.
You know it's gonna get filtered, right?
Yeah.
You know that it's kind of.
Just seriously.
You don't have better things to do.
No. So here we go. Number 1, if I'm slurry at all or become slurry, my tongue when it gets thick because I'm reacting and I'm not properly medicated, which I am. I'm currently under medicated, and all I can drink literally is this. I make my own ice cubes out of this. Okay. Um, so all I've had is that. But if it becomes slurry at all, tell me if you hear it, because it means I gotta take some medication. Um, so we'll go with that. Hi, Vesper. All right. So this is something very important. I'm going through my medical records for the doctor, right? My daughter has asthma, coughing asthma. Sorry.
And I'm recovering from being sick.
Yep. So I'm going through my records and I'm trying to put everything together for the new doctor, right? On the advice of my previous physician, who was like, break down your allergies because just saying latex, coconut, ethylenediamine, and all related um, derivatives isn't going to help anybody who doesn't know. And he was right. So I broke it down as far as I could, thinking I was good if I just did antihistamines and corticosteroids as like families.
But that doesn't really work.
But that didn't work because, yeah, doctors had no idea. So I left the Mayo Clinic. I was a patient there last year, 2024, with my daughter. We were diagnosed with everything from Behçet's I was diagnosed with Behçet's. She was diagnosed with POTS. And everything else was exactly the same, from fibro to EDS to chronic fatigue, chronic pain, go down the line. Okay. We both got just this massive list of, hey, have fun with that. So that was fun. And 2 days before I was set to leave, I was visiting my friend in Florida who would let us stay at her place. Vesper, I appreciate the likes. You are the absolute best. 2 days before, we lived in Southeast Georgia at the time. We were about an hour and a half from Mayo, and we had a friend who lived about 40 minutes from Mayo in Florida, in Jacksonville. She has a spare room, and she would let us stay at her place. I could bring my dogs and everything, and we stayed at her place because there's no way we could have gone back every month for probably about 10 months worth of treatment if a hotel was connected to every single time. Yes, I know. 1 second. Doesn't matter because I can't treat. Okay. Capillary refill. Capillary refill. It's not too bad. Let's try this one. Capillary refill. My fingers are, that's marker. But if you look real close, my Behçet's is acting up because it looks like I have excuse my Behçet's, I think, is leading the train right now. And my skin looks like comic book like lines, like on a superhero. Look at the color of my I'm all different colors. You can see the fine lines, and I haven't touched dirt. This is just what happens. Anyway, so I am called to the Mayo Clinic first. I thought I was done. We had done our exit interview with our lead doctor, and 2 days before I was set to leave my friend's place in Jacksonville, I get a call from Mayo saying, come back in. The doctor wants you to have one more set of labs. And so I do. I know they're trying to see if I have Behçet's disease. Okay, it's an autoimmune condition that causes your body to attack its own blood vessels. All right. So that's fun because that can cause everything from aneurysms to stroke to slurred speech to seizures to stroke and a bunch of other really fun things that nobody wants to happen to them. Child.
Yeah.
Vesper says capillary refill. 1 second. You can do this for Vesper. Let me see your hand. 1 second. I'm flipping. Okay. 1 minute. Oops, I did not flip. There we go.
I'm probably a little messed up. 'cause it
Capillary
peeled off,
refill.
but-
That actually was pretty good, I think. Capillary refill. Also fine. All right. FY, anybody who's watching and doesn't know on YouTube, capillary refill is one, I guess, layman's way, normal person's way of figuring out how much distress your body is in. Because I've had, when Vesper was like, hey, you're not alive, unaliving for once. They were right, because when I am in an anaphylactic reaction or MCAS flare, it can take a good 30. Oops. Hi, I'm back over here. 1 minute. It can take a good 10 seconds plus for the color that gets pushed out of your finger. See, it goes white for a minute. Right? It can take, it stays indented. This thumb is a mess though. Okay. Watch. It's still flat on top, and the skin right there is jacked up. Because my Bechet's is not happy. Capillary refill on my thumb. Okay, capillary refill, right? And I can feel it. The pressure from the swelling on this thumb is a mess. He takes sirolimus to help. It's working so far. And child, check your DMs.
All right.
Your son has ALPS and his spleen works against him. He takes sirolimus to help. It's working so far. I'm glad that there's something that your son can take. It's never easy to. I have so much maternal guilt for everything that I passed on to my kid. It's insane, or just not contributing to the good genes. You know what I mean? So I am so sorry, and I'm so happy that he's got you. Is that a warning sign for you? Capillary fill. Yeah. This the when my skin gets hard and starts to change colors. Look here. See that? My skin will instantly callus. And pressure will build. And it doesn't happen everywhere. See, right here, nothing. Everything's fine. See, right here, my fingers are catching like I'm trying to climb a mountain. My nails on the my skin is Bechetzian, like my skin is Bechetzian. But I can't take anything for it. There is mast cell involvement involved in triggering Bechet's. So if my mast cell is triggered or not properly controlled, my Bechet's is angry. And let's just say I have to ration what I'm supposed to, what I should. I'm on a third, less than a third of what I should be every day, and I have to ration it, which means I'm probably not eating till Tuesday. So even though I do intermittent fasting on a regular basis, I usually only eat once or twice a day max. If I'm doing the best I'm doing better and my head's in a better space, I'll eat once every other day. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I do, because every time we eat, whether it doesn't matter what it is, if we trigger an insulin response. So if you drink coffee with creamer, which I can't do anyway because mast cell, but if you do anything, drink or eat anything that triggers an insulin response, your body's also tripping. Thank you, Jessica, and big love to you and to your son. So anytime you trip a insulin response, you're tripping a histamine response also. So since I am allergic to the world, my easiest and only form of, I guess you could call it naturopathic control, natural options control, is intermittent fasting. Except usually I do that by choice and not because I can't, not because I don't have the medication that I'm supposed to have available to me, because I'm allergic to quite literally everything else. So anyway, back to Mayo Clinic. They call me, so I go 2 days before I'm leaving Florida for the Behçet's disease lab draw. They're looking for specific protein and specific labs. And I get a call the next day, which is like 2 days. Good Lord. Do you see this? It's easier to see on YouTube. It literally looks like I've been drawn as like a comic book character with like all the like old school like pen lines for shadows. Anyway, I get called like 2 days before I'm leaving the state of Georgia for the drive back to the Midwest. And I'm told by the doctor who ordered the test that yes, I have Behçet's disease. And I'm told by my lead doctor at Mayo Jacksonville that that also confirms my mast cell activation syndrome because I had elevated leukotriene levels. My tryptase levels were always normal. It was my leukotriene levels that showed people that definitive proof blood test results that I have MCAS, because that's a level that a lot of doctors don't know about. By the way, if you're trying to get MCAS diagnosis or at least rule it out, know this: according to every published research journal, peer-reviewed paper, and respected medical sources, including Ehlers-Danlos Society and the Mast Cell Society for a Cure, if your doctor's stuck on tryptase and your tryptase isn't elevated and they're telling you that you don't have MCAS, know this: only 30% of people with MCAS actually show elevated tryptase even during a flare, and there's about a percentage of about 18% of people with mastocytosis who do not show elevated tryptase even with a flare, even during a flare. And guess what? Both out of that 18% in the world, 2 of them ended up in one of my comment sections going, "Yeah, my tryptase is normal and I have mastocytosis." So if your doctor's stuck on but your tryptase, you can be like, yeah, not the vibe that you think it is. Okay. So yeah, Mayo calls me, and 2 days before I'm leaving, yes, you have Behçet's disease. Okay. And I've got my Mayo Clinic patient portal, right? But I'm also getting ready to drive cross country, moving to a new place. It's going to be me and my daughter for a few weeks, setting up house and stuff. And trying to find new doctors, which is super easy and way convenient when you have major medical PTSD, your ADHD, unmedicated, autistic, and medically PTSD like through the roof because of medical gaslighting. Great times. So yeah, this is not going to go well, right? And they don't say anything about anything else. Like, I've got a diagnostic list that, like, if you print out print it out on full size 8x11 printing paper. I think my diagnostic list for every single problem that Mayo like said I have, condition I have, autoimmune condition, everything, was 1.5 to 2 pages long.
Apparently, the thing that got filtered was literally just Vesper telling you to mod.
Oh,
So do that.
To what?
Vesper telling you to mod them. Just do that.
Okay, let me mod
Make
you.
Vesper a mod.
1 second, let me find it. Thank you. 1 second. How do I do that?
It's a button somewhere.
I know it's a button somewhere. Add moderator and confirm.
TikTok filters the weirdest.
You are in, Vesper. Okay, so Vesper's now one of my mods on TikTok. I love Vesper. All right, Vesper talks about proper, I believe the actual term, the proper term is husbandry, right? Is that the right term? For taking care of and breeding different kinds of rabbits, and is adorable to boot. So you've got cute bunny talk, cute bunny videos, lots of great information, and Vesper's just adorable to begin with. So like it's just awesome. Okay, so Mayo doesn't tell me anything. They don't even say, you know what? You've got a number of abnormal labs. You might want to print that out and take that information to, your new physicians or your care team back home, and talk this over with them, and have them look and see what you proper rabbit care. Bingo. There we go. Vesper says mod me. There we goes. Do you want me to add you as a mod?
Sure.
Okay, join for a minute so I can add you. Anyway, they don't tell me, pay attention, look at everything. Because mind you, I went in knowing that I had fibro, or that I had mast cell, possible EDS. I suspected fibro and chronic fatigue for my daughter. I had no idea that I had fibro EDS, that I had. Most of my list I didn't know. I just knew for a fact that I had two things, and I was pretty sure I had Behçet's. I was right about everything. I was only surprised about the things. I was just surprised about the things I wasn't expecting. Right. So having a medical history from Mayo with like 85 to 200 plus pages, depending on how. Hi, Entropy. Manage. Oh, you are. I think you are a mod.
I mean, that's not incredibly surprising.
Yeah, you are. Okay. So. Ow. So anyway, they don't tell me. Nobody gives me like the Cliff Notes. If you're Gen X, you know what I mean. Nobody gives me the TLDR. Nobody gives me a heads up and says, hey, by the way, we also found a marker for a rare blood cancer. You might want to talk to your doctors. Nobody said shit. Okay. And yeah, I know we're supposed to read the agreement, when we get a new smartphone, fruit phone. Nobody does. We've probably signed away our firstborn child. We don't know. We just want to be able to get on our apps and talk to the people who live inside our phones. So we do what we got to do. Nobody told me. And let this be a lesson, please. You see a new physician, you go to a new healthcare system, go through everything. Print out a copy, yellow highlighter, old school, and if it's marked abnormal, take it to a doctor you trust. If you have a friend who works in the medical field, talk to them for their non-medical advice and be like, which one of these are like prioritize. If this was you, hypothetically speaking, which of these abnormal labs, might be of concern to talk to your doctor first about, because maybe your vitamin whatever is low. Okay, so you take a supplement that you're not allergic to if you can. But hey, if you have the markers for, I don't know, a rare freaking blood cancer that affects, three to was it what the frick was that? 1 minute. 3 to 4 out of every 1 million people in the United States of America. You think the patient might need to know that? Perhaps, maybe. Okay. So I'm going through my records so I can get everything together for the new internal medicine doctor that I just started seeing a few weeks ago. And because I've looked at my records multiple times and basically done the speed reading version, to go through the, to like put everything together for my doctors, in a document, in this document that I have over here, right? With all of my allergies, all 832 of them as of now. I'm now seeing things that are popping out that I didn't see before, right? And I'm like, macroglobulin, huh? And macroadenoma, what? Because I have a microadenoma. I've got a rare blood cancer and I have a pituitary gland tumor that kicks out too much prolactin and essentially makes my body think it's still pregnant, which is great because my daughter's only, she's 17. That's just fabulous. So my hormones are messed up. Guess what can trigger mast cell reactions? Hormonal fluctuations. It just gets better, right? And let's not talk about whether or not I can treat that or have the right amount of medication to treat that, because my new doctor's like, nah, you don't need that much. You're allergic to everything else, but you don't need that much. Fine. So I have a video that you can watch on my TikTok about my experience during an MRI a few days ago. I'm going to upload it to YouTube soon. If I haven't already, I have to check. I don't remember. But basically, I was latex coconut tall get out. Even though I tried, you need to take inhaler, nebulize something.
Literally 2 seconds ago.
Okay.
I can use it again.
Thank you. And what happens when you have anaphylactic allergies? Your masks. Let me rephrase that. When you get a mosquito bite, it doesn't matter if you have mast cell or not. Okay. When you get a mosquito bite, it's your mast cells that are triggering the release of histamines that are protecting your body by alerting you, hey, you just got a bite. We're going to like collect right here in this one area where you got the bite, and we're going to welt up and it's going to itch like a bitch. And try not to scratch it, but you're going to scratch it because it's a mosquito bite, and you're going to be scratching before it even shows, because your body and your brain are working together to tell you that you got a mosquito bite on your forearm. Mast cells are doing that. Consider them the guards trying to protect the castle, or the moat surrounding the castle. Okay. Now imagine having no mosquito around, and your body's like, hey, look, the barometric pressure changed. Your hormones are fluctuating. Your kid's on her period. You've had a bad day. You're having emotions because you're human. You're existing. What?
I'm exploding.
Yeah. You're existing. You ate something anything, you drink something, anything. Uh, it's a Wednesday, it's a Tuesday, it's a day that ends with Y. You're stressed out, you got stuck in traffic on the way home. All of these things can trigger mast cell reactions. You walked by somebody who's just a little too perfumed, and or you had to hold your breath trying to walk into the mall, and run with your breath being held. Sorry, I'm totally being like autistically stimmy right now because I don't like the way my hair feels, and I'm trying. Oh my god, 1 minute. I don't want to feel my hair right now. I know that is probably the most artistic thing I can say right now. Hey, RFK Jr., if you want to talk, I'm right here. So give me a second. That you don't see people with like profound autism walking around the mall. Yeah. Side note.
Just most of those people probably don't want to be at the mall.
Side
There's a
note.
reason you don't see them
We
at the
don't
mall,
go to the
because
mall
they have
very
other things
often.
they want to be doing.
Also, it's a circle, not a line. And autism doesn't just look like Rain Man. By the way, if anybody who's working with RFK as one of his aides happens to see this, which would be really amazing, do me a favor. It's not going to happen. It's fine. But do me a favor and maybe sit your boss down for a minute and ask him if he's worked through his childhood trauma regarding autism in his family history, the lobotomy that his aunt had, and how that might be shaping, his current thoughts on what autism actually looks like. And by the way, Rain Man is not a documentary, okay?
Rain Man is more accurate to, I forgot what the condition is.
It's fine.
Sure, isn't Rain Man like, in the movie, I think it is canonically stated to be an autistic man, but the guy who it was based off of, didn't he officially come out at some point and be like, the thing I have was thought to be autism, but it was actually this other thing?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I was
it was like that or another movie. I don't remember which one.
I was like 8 when Rain Man came out, and I just know that it was like. I remember watching it like a million times over as a kid, because I was strangely fascinated with the movie. Yeah, I know. And we watched it on. It was one of our movies.
You can see the look on my face, right?
Yeah, the internet can feel the look on your face right now. That's where can you feel the look on Eliana's face? Yeah, watched it on repeat. I've got the entire. Oh, Vesper, I'm sorry. That's what my fingers do. My skin looks weird. I'm like 4 different colors at most times when my Behçet's is flared up. So anyway, yeah, I don't know about Behçet's. I'm sorry, I know about Behçet's. I don't know about the blood cancer. All right, so now we go back.
I didn't even know chronic cancer was a thing. Prior to you saying.
Indolent systemic mastocytosis is also a form of that, which strangely one of my previous doctors here, the first one that we were seeing down the street,
I'm guessing,
listed me as having that and not mast cell.
I'm guessing they picked up on the blood cancer thing through some test and thought it was the same, and like,
yeah,
for whatever reason, probably was like, okay, these are the same, or like this is also this.
Yeah,
like directly related.
I looked, and they're not exactly the same thing, but like I try to use it as a comparison because I'm trying to focus on the chronic and then not, hey, look, there's plenty of people living very long lives with mastocytosis, right? All right, so you're pale AF, but the refill is low. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, all right, so all that to say, I find out that I have, and I'm not kidding you, I find this out on Friday night. And because I am the Bruno firstborn adult daughter in a Mexican American immigrant family. By the way, Encanto was not just a Disney flick. It was actually probably a documentary based on every Latino family out there ever. And by the way, if you don't think you're Bruno, you're the Bruno. We're all Bruno. We're all Bruno, and we all know the secret about everybody else except for the person who it's about. And everybody else knows everybody else's secrets. It's just the way it is. So I have always been taught and tried to like, all right, oh, I broke my leg. Let's see how much easier I can make. Let's make sure I broke my leg before I go to the doctor and inconvenience other people. No, I'm not going to wake people up in the middle of the night if I think you need to go to the ER because that's going to mess up. And no one's told me this, okay? Like my husband isn't like you can't go to the ER. My daughter is not like, but I'm not going to get any sleep tonight. Nobody's like telling me don't do these things. It's inconvenient. This is just the way I have internalized my upbringing. And I know that I'm not the only one. Everybody else comes first, right? If I'm on a plane and it's going down and those masks come down, you can bet your ass I am not putting the mask on myself first because I like physically my brain will block my body from doing so because I will get that mask on my daughter first if she starts panicking. I will get that mask on the person who's sitting on the other side of me, especially if they're elderly and can't. I can hold my breath for a minute, okay? I have had to hold my breath for a minute because what do I have to do at the doctor's office now these days to keep myself safe? Nod and smile. So yeah, I'm getting the mask on everybody else. Night, I promise I won't unalive. I'm actively trying to not do that, Vesper. Okay, so here's where we are. I just find out that I have this. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out. Now I'm trying to figure out what I can take and what I can't. But I'm also trying to show my doctor that the severity and variety of my allergies limits me to what I can actually take because everybody thinks I'm kidding when I'm like, no, I can't do that. And it's like, no, I actually can't do that. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out. Let's go here. Let's go to the Mayo Clinic article. I'm sorry. Nope. Mayo, I'm mad at you. We need to have a talk. This is from Cleveland Clinic. So Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia is a slow growing blood cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's a type of that type of cancer that also goes by another name, which is lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma. A rare cancer, Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. I'm pretty sure this word is meant to make you sound like you've had one too many on the way to start your live stream. Only affects about 3 to 4 out of every 1 million people in the US. WM, macroglobulinemia, affects or happens when B cells, immune cells in your bone marrow, where blood cells get made, change into cancer cells. The cancer cells copy themselves. It can crowd out your normal blood cells. 1 minute. There. Switch to the screen share for YouTube. Okay. And they can crowd your normal blood cells. This can lead to low numbers of red blood cells, anemia, white blood cells, neutropenia, and platelets, thrombocytopenia. The cancer cells also release an abnormal protein called immunoglobulin. Mother. Source. The cancer cells also release an abnormal protein called immunoglobulin M, IgM. Too much IgM can thicken your blood, turning it into a syrup-like liquid. This is called hyperviscosity syndrome. The thickened blood doesn't flow easily through your veins, tiny blood vessels, and can cause serious symptoms. Cool, because I didn't already have enough problems with my blood because, Behçet's disease. But hey, let's just, be extra. There's no cure for Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, but the treatments that ease, and sometimes there are symptoms that ease and can sometimes eliminate symptoms. As WM tends to progress slowly, it's possible that you'll live many years with this condition. Right. Okay. All right. Next part of the article. Symptoms. Hey, Jamie. Symptoms and causes. Anybody who's watching on TikTok, please hop on over to YouTube. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers because I would like to try and get to 1,000 subscribers this year so I can monetize the channel or become eligible for monetizing the channel. 'Cause I don't think I'm going to be working outside of the house anytime soon. I can't even leave the house during the holidays because I'm airborne allergic to poinsettia plants. And apparently going to the hospital is life-threatening because, the scrub caps that they put on you and wear, and the squeeze ball thing to alert the staff doing the MRI. Yeah, that's made of latex, and the scrub caps, those are made of coconut fiber. So guess how I found that out? Yeah, that's how I found that out. Because I was having an allergic reaction the entire time I was in there, and notified my doctor, notified the patient advocate. Granted, it was late in the afternoon on Friday that I did that. So hopefully I'll hear from them on Monday. But it's been brought up twice with my own physician. They had a week to prepare for me. A week. A freaking week. And still. And still we're totally trying to guess on what was safe for me to use and have. I'm pretty sure this isn't made of latex, but just in case, we'll wrap it in a towel for you. Thanks. That's not how that works. Hope you're doing well, Jamie. All right, symptoms and causes. Symptoms of Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. 1 in 4 people diagnosed don't have symptoms. They learn that they have this condition while visiting their healthcare provider for other reasons. Hi.
Well, you didn't technically learn it then. You just got diagnosed with it.
Yeah, when WM does cause symptoms, they come on slowly, including, and mind you, compare this list to just chronic illness in general. If you have any, right, for what you your own experience, or maybe if you're a caretaker or a loved one has one or more. Weakness and fatigue, fever, loss of appetite, night sweats, weight loss. I'm not that kind of chronically ill. I'm the oh look, you're inflamed and you're going to put on 30 pounds in 4 weeks kind of chronically ill. Confusion. I get seizures and focal seizures and stuff. Enlarged liver, spleen, or lymph nodes. Signs of peripheral neuropathy, tingling sensation in fingers and toes. Signs of thickened blood, nosebleeds, bleeding gums, dizziness, headaches, and a blurred vision. Okay, anybody who's got, who's nearsighted. Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia causes genetic mutations Genetic mutations cause the condition. More than 90% of people, 9 out of 10, with WM have a mutation involving the MYD88 gene. About 40%, 4 out of 10, have changes to their CXCR4 gene. Both mutations help the abnormal cells in Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia multiply. These changes aren't inherited or hereditary. This means you can't pass this on to your children and you didn't get it from your parents. Instead, they develop during your lifetime, but researchers don't know what triggers the mutations in the first place. I have read that there are.
I mean, I guess the first part is good news. The second part, I think.
I've read that there are familial cases, but they're just referred to.
Speaking, if the thing is like something you develop over your life, you might not directly inherit it from your parents, but since you're genetically related, you're probably more likely to also experience the thing. That means it's just like not a genetic guarantee necessarily. You just pop up randomly in a bloodline without any precedent, but blood relation is going to make certain genetic and physical things more likely.
Thank you for gifting and saying hi. I appreciate it. Okay, so Mert just got. I'm not going to share publicly. I'll tell her after. You can, unless you want to. I know I'm not. I don't remember if your account is public or not, but Mert and I have some. Let's just say we have some things in common, so to speak. Remember I told you I was afraid of being allergic to chemo options for any kind of chronic cancers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think I might start trying to play Devil May Cry tomorrow.
Yeah. So indolent mastocytosis, systemic mastocytosis is a type of chronic blood cancer also. And so there are some similarities, or similarities. And I happened to comment on one of Mert's recent posts and was like, this is my worst nightmare, because I'm probably allergic to like everything. 2 days later. Yeah, thanks. Karma. That's hysterical.
You know that joke people make about Apollo smacking people with a prophecy ball?
Is the ball made of steel, like the kind that Aztecs used to play soccer with? Because if we're gonna go, we're gonna go hard.
Caved in part of your skull.
Yeah, I just got clocked with it. Okay, so factors that may increase your chance of developing Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. Factors that may increase your chances of developing what looks like you had one too many glasses of Waldenstrom wine. I'm kidding.
Why do they have to look like
macroglobulinemia include age. Most people diagnosed are 65 or older. Cool. I've got about a 20-year heads up. Did I actually arrive early for the party? Because that doesn't happen with me. Usually I'm like 3 days late because I'm running on Mexican and ADHD time, which means I'm never there early. Race, WM macroglobulinemia is most common in people who are Caucasian. This would have made zero sense to me before I got a DNA test. I'm 25% Ashkenazi, Jewish descent from a very, very, very small dot in the part of Poland that used to be Ukraine. Because all of my genetic great...
Would it have actively been Ukraine when the relative we had was...
Or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe it was...
I can't remember which one it was, but would it have been the thing it originally was when that person...
when she was living there, it would have been, I think, just... I don't remember, but I know it Poland and Ukraine. It's
We can look
I'm
later.
gonna have to ask my friend who's an amateur genealogist who's trying to help me put things together. But I made contact with with second cousin, half cousin, and learned that his mother was born in Poland, um, and all of her DNA is from this one little dot um, in Poland. So yeah, there you go. Right.
They say that's
Mert.
crazy, but I'm pretty sure that's like more closer to the norm across
Mhm.
most of the world to have most of your DNA from this little dot
Yeah.
as opposed to everywhere.
Yeah, Mert, you're Ashkenazi too. Yeah, that means we're cousins.
Bye.
Mert, we're cousins. We're related. I believe I read that every single person in the world who is Ashkenazi is at least like I think it goes up to like 15th cousin or something like that. Like the joke is everybody's related to Paul Rudd.
So like you're basically like as close to not being related as you can be while still being related.
Right. Like this is why if two
But
people
like very, very loosely.
Right. If two people who are Ashkenazi and know they're Ashkenazi want to get married, they have to get genetic testing before they get married to make sure that the bloodline is far enough apart that
Any kiddos won't have problems.
you're reducing that from happening. Yeah. Yeah. So we're related.
Which basically means we probably have some of that in our bloodline because
yeah.
statistically speaking.
Yeah. I forget what the exact
we're on
number
the same
was,
cousin.
but I remember going. I remember I reading a lot about it, and yeah, every Ashkenaz. There was an account I saw for a little while when my FYP was like, "Oh, you just did a DNA test. You're Ashkenazi. Here's all the Jewish videos," and then it decided to stop, even though I was watching. And somebody who is Ashkenazi Jewish shared that little tidbit and was like, "Yeah, we're all related to Paul Rudd," and I was like, "Cool." I knew I liked him for a reason. All right, so males are more likely to have macroglobulinemia and probably a slur when they're trying to say it. Because do we need that many syllables? Medical history, having hepatitis. Okay. Having hepatitis C, AIDS, Sjogren's syndrome, or MGUS may increase your risk. What the hell is MGUS? We're clicking on that because I don't know. MGUS is a precursor for WM, but just because you have MGUS doesn't mean that you'll develop macroglobulinemia. Let's share this page. Monoclonal gammopathy of undetermined significance, MGUS. I'm sorry, that's a whole lot of words to say. We have no fucking clue. Okay, monoclonal gammopathy of undermined significance is a blood disorder that affects plasma cells in your bone marrow. Most of the time, M proteins don't cause issues, and most people with MGUS don't have symptoms. Some people with the condition may develop blood cancer or more serious blood disorder. I'm sharing on YouTube, you guys, okay? Monoclonal gammopathy, blood disorder, blood plasma cells, bone marrow, don't cause issues for most people. Healthcare providers often discover this one taking blood or urine samples as part of routine physical exams. Rarely it can turn into a blood cancer or more serious blood disorder. Blah, 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 blah. Who does it affect? People age 50 and older usually. Risk increases with age. Starting at age 50, people have a 3 to 5% chance of developing this condition. Guess what? I hit the 3 to 4 out of every 1 million people in the US for Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. So I mean, hey, I should probably go to Vegas now if I wasn't allergic to, everything. Anyway, you're more likely to develop it if you are Black, male, and have a history of exposure to pesticides or insecticides, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so basically it's the pause before it's the well maybe and then Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. All right, medical history: having biological family members who have WM or other kinds of lymphoma may increase your risk. So I love it when diagnostics like contradict each other because, yeah, you're fine. There's no hereditary, but there's hereditary. Okay, complications. Complications. Amyloidosis. Amylo. You're kidding. Right here. How the hell? Amyloidosis. Amyloidosis. This condition happens when faulty proteins build up in your organs like your heart, lungs, and kidneys. Chiroglobulinemia. This condition happens when certain blood proteins that react to cold conditions gather in clumps in your hand and feet. This can cause pain and turn your hands and feet blue or white. Cyanosis. How do doctors get to the condition? Blood and urine tests. For WM, signs of low blood cell counts and abnormal IgM proteins. Imaging tests like CT scans, CT and PET scans, CT PET. Doctors are looking for things like enlarged organs and lymph nodes. Eye exam. This test can check for bleeding in the back of your eyeball. Sign of thickened blood. Remember that like 5 or 6 months where every single month one or either eye was like hemorrhaged. I don't know if it was that, if this was that. Bone marrow biopsies also can be used. How is it treated? And this is the part where 1 second. This is the part where things are gonna get fun because well, I forgot to I fell twice yesterday because my iPhone told me that I have walking instability after I fell twice. Way to go, iPhone. Had no idea. So I'm landed. I wiped out the second time on the street. Like seriously, just full, just kneecap side. Surprised I didn't lose any teeth or smash a Pomeranian. And stranger ran up, was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm pretty sure I'm made of water. I don't know." But I do have what didn't hurt as much to touch today. I probably chipped a bone on my kneecap. I don't know. On my left side and my right side. I'm pretty sure I bruised the muscle. So, that's good. All right. So, how is Waldenstrom chronic? Hey, spoonful of chronic. How are you? Hey, Talmage. So, there is no cure for this condition. The best treatment is the one that relieves symptoms with the least amount of side effects. Tell that to. Never mind. We're going to play nice for now. Nod and smile. Boys, nod and smile. Or smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Yeah. Your healthcare provider. How you doing? Yeah. Things went from that sucks to the WTF, like that, right? Watchful waiting for these are options for what your doctor and you may decide upon. Watchful waiting. Your provider may not start treatment if you don't have symptoms. Some people with WM don't need treatment for years. Okay. Here's my guess. If my mast cell is under control, my Behçet's is under control. If my Behçet's is under control, I'm not aggravating the macroglobulinemia because that is also going to be an issue with blood viscosity. Guess what? When I do not have my mast cells stable where they need to be with a medication that I cannot say online without getting dinged. So if you want, I promise you, I'm not trying to money grab. I'm just trying to make sure that I continue to have a platform. So if you're looking for the real behind the scenes info, I'm going to start sharing more on Patreon and create a few sub only videos on TikTok. But there are things that I cannot say. Okay. And this is one of them, because the medication that works for me is one, an option for me because it's one of the few things I'm not allergic to. 2, calms mast cells in every area of the body. And 3, like every organ system, not just one, like most mast cell stabilizers. And 3, when I am on it, I have no problem administering my intramuscular diphenhydramine. When I am not on it, or I have to ration because my doctors are like, no. Who gives a fuck about quality of life? No, we're not going to give you the actual amount of medication you need, because we were taught to demonize this medication in medical school. We're going to give you what we think you need, because that's a lot. Especially when I can't take anything else and have to go straight to, Benadryl and Epi, because I'm allergic to all other H1s. Okay. When I do not have this medication or I'm rationing, and I'm not kidding you, I'm going to let me figure out how to PG this as much as possible. Have you ever watched like a gory horror movie where you're just like can like third person step back and see like outside of the camera frame, and like imagine the set design crew just like going to town on like the blood splatter and like being impressed at like the good job they did to make it look realistic? Yeah. When I am not medicated properly and I have to administer my IM diphenhydramine, I have to be ready with a napkin, paper towel, literally like blocking, just in case, so I don't get any stains anywhere they shouldn't be, because I've had actual guys are like just trails on the floor where I'm like, wow, that would have been really cool for like a set. That looks that's impressive. And then 10 minutes of having to hold and apply pressure to the area I just either epied or administered my IM diphenhydramine for up to 10 minutes before it stops bleeding. All right. That's not normal. That doesn't happen when I'm on my medication, which I can't even ask for right now because I just can't right now. Let's just say doctors do not. You're allowed to be an informed patient as long as you're not a chronic pain or chronic illness patient, because then you're just no. Okay. So other than watchful waiting, plasmapheresis, plasma exchange. Providers use a machine to filter abnormal IgM from your plasma, the liquid part of your blood. They return the plasma to your bloodstream. Providers use this treatment to ease symptoms caused by thickening blood. I have to look that up and see what else that involves. Immunotherapy. This treatment uses your body's immune system to destroy or slow the growth of Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. Providers commonly prescribe rituximab alone or with chemotherapy. Yeah, we're getting to the good stuff now, okay? Because this is where we start. This is where I have to break down this entire list. Oh, beautiful. In my allergen list and get that to my doctors. And then I have to explain to the new allergist I'm seeing on Tuesday that no, I will not be allowing any skin challenges, drug tests, drug challenges, food challenges, or anything else because I've done my research, and if they don't like that,
That's not a thing you can afford to budge on.
I get to find something. I get to find someone else. I already know repeat exposure to latex, bad. I already know that skin testing, skin challenges, food challenges, drug challenges, not a good idea if you have mast cell, even if you don't have known anaphylactic reactions, because you don't know what's going to turn into a anaphylactic or shock reaction. By the way, anaphylaxis, two or more body systems affected at once. It does not have to look like it does in the medical dramas. If your doctor is waiting for you to have blood pressure dipping so low that you're passing out and your airway is closing, they're literally waiting for you to be like 3 steps from being deleted from this timeline, because that's anaphylactic shock. There's 4 stages of anaphylaxis. The first one is, do I need my EpiPen? If you're thinking it, yes. You might. I'm not your doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just saying that if I'm wondering if I need my EpiPen, now instead of texting a friend of mine who has a lot of the same conditions, the fact that I was getting ready to text her is grab your EpiPen. You need it. Okay. Stage 3 anaphylaxis is the beginning of anaphylactic shock. Okay. So there you go. There's your little primer. Okay. So immunotherapy. Hey, Maribel, how are you? Yes, I said your name just so I could flex the fact that I can roll my R's. My Spanish sucks now because I don't have to speak to anyone very often, except for when I stop at the Mexican food truck 15 minutes away, and I'm like so happy because the arroz and frijoles actually taste real. Oh my God, thank God. Anyway, oh, and the horchata, yeah. So immunotherapy. Rituximab or Rituxan alone with chemo. Yeah, I'm allergic to all the chemo options. Chemotherapy. Your providers may prescribe cancer-killing medications alone or in combination with immunotherapy. Corticosteroids. Guess who's allergic to all corticosteroids? Right here. Yeah, every single one of them, because every single one of them is made with ethylene dichloride. I am allergic. My Behçet's disease, I should be taking something called colchicine, which is a corticosteroid. Guess what I did when the doctors were like, we're probably going to put you on this if you get diagnosed with this condition. And I was like, I'm going to be allergic to it. I said, what family of medication is that? And they're looking at me like I'm crazy, right? Because of course they are. It was a resident who had to have her attending check everything. I'm not saying attendings are idiots or residents are idiots. They're, everybody's learning as they go. But I'm explaining to this doctor, I'm like, my files state that I'm allergic to ethylene chloride. That means that I'm automatically allergic to latex. I'm automatically allergic to like 10 pages worth of things, everything from sunscreen to, bug repellent to adhesives to latex to corticosteroids. Asthma inhalers too. Yeah. By the way, I'm pretty sure I know what actually causes latex allergy and what's behind the continued rise in latex allergy. But since RFK is too busy focusing on the fact that let's just, yeah. I know what it is. I just have to figure out how to actually get the information out there and who I need to talk to first to try and make sure the proper studies are done, because I'm gonna piss off a lot of fucking people. When I actually share this information and I can get it out there. Let's just say if I I have one point connecting every single allergy that I have. And that point helped me figure out, wait a minute, this part doesn't make sense. And then I figured things out. I have to contact I have to contact a couple of researchers who wrote a peer-reviewed paper explaining a certain condition that I think might be interested in my research. Anyway, so corticosteroids like dexamethasone, along with immunotherapy and chemo, fights cancer, reduces the side effects of treatment, unless you're allergic. Okay. Targeted therapy, the treatment blocks proteins that cancer cells use to make more copies. Ibrutinib or Imbruvica, and Brukinsa or Zanabrutinib. Honestly, you don't need to do a walk the line test if if a police officer thinks you've been drinking and driving. Just have them read a few of these words. Yeah, okay. So these are both targeted therapies approved by the FDA to treat WM. Okay. Stem cell transplant. Providers replace bone marrow affected by abnormal cells with healthy bone marrow. It's uncommon and used only in select people. I'm guessing it's uncommon because it's the most extreme. I'm guessing the select people are the people who are especially effed up and allergic to everything else. Because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. And by the way, yes, I'm researched as hell, and I know too many medical terms that pisses off doctors because I have to know these things because that's how I've been staying alive. And there were 2 cases of children who had, I believe it was a peanut allergy, who had leukemia and had stem cell transplants, and their allergy disappeared because new stem cells. So just saying. But also, I'm deathly afraid. Deathly ironic. Okay. I'm horribly afraid of being in a hospital setting at this point because the last ER experience was a nightmare. I can't get into why right now. And the MRI, they had a full week. Me talking to the MRI tech multiple times. Me telling the doctor and him having my records where I'm like, yeah, I'm allergic to my fingers. This is turning into rock. Literally turning into rock. I can't do anything about it because I can't take anything for it, and I can't tell you what I can take for it that would actually fix it, because that would be a bad thing. Okay. I can't bend this finger with, I can't go further than this because this is swelling too much. Basically, I'm not eating until Tuesday when I see the new allergist. And I'm hoping to God he's actually MCAS aware and believes me, and knows how to Google and is not opposed to learning with. Because if any of that is not true, I'm basically going to have to figure out how to get to a certain doctor that I used to interact with on a regular basis on the TikTok app, who did not go by his real name, but instead went by a former claymation character last name that was representative of, like, connective tissue disorder for Ehlers-Danlos. I'm gonna have to like get on a plane, figure out how to raise money to get on a freaking plane to get to see that person if I can, because I can't go anywhere else. I can't go, and I'm afraid I can't tell. I can't tell doctors what I can take because they don't think I need that for what I need it for, because it's not supposed to fix those things, but it does. There are 2 doctors in the United States that I would give anything to see. And there's the one I just mentioned, who some of you may know, and then there's Dr. Gumby. Dr. Afrin. Lawrence Afrin, who I can't afford to see because 1, the wait list is like 2 years long, and 2, I don't have 10K like for that. So, all right, when should you seek care? Contact your healthcare provider if you've been diagnosed with WM and have symptoms that's new or bothering you. I don't know, or maybe just if you have it. Okay. If you learn you have this condition, it's important to ask questions so you know what to expect. You know what, Mayo Clinic? I would have done that back in August of 2024. But you didn't tell me. So, I didn't know to ask. Ow, that hurt my esophagus. Ow, ever swallow water wrong? I feel like I got punched in the throat, like from the inside. No, just me? Okay. Here are a few questions you may want to ask your provider. How serious is WM and how will it affect my life? I am sure I can find that information online. What should I expect in short term and long term? Short term, just throwing this out there, but I figure medical gaslighting and PTSD probably figure in the mix somewhere. Do I need treatment right away? Not if you read the entire article. Okay, the article already says the first step is watchful waiting. Okay, what type of treatment do you recommend? Let's switch that to what kind of treatment is best for the patient? What treatment side effects should I expect? Outlook, prognosis. Everyone's situation is different, particularly with a condition that progresses slowly like Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. Research shows that 66% of people, more than 2 out of 3, are alive 10 years after they've been diagnosed. Life expectancy varies by age. Many people diagnosed over 65 usually end up passing from causes unrelated to WM, which makes sense, right? So prognosis is going to depend on age, blood test results, and mutation type. Not having an MYD88 mutation sometimes suggests a worse outcome. Great, cool. So now I don't want to know that. Okay, I guess. If you have questions, talk to your healthcare provider, or not, depending on, if they're gaslighting you. They know you and your circumstances that may affect your health. Yeah, no. I'm telling you right now, side quest. If you live in one area and you have been in one area and you have a care team that knows and understands you and knows your history, um, and you have the opportunity to stay in that area or accept a job with a slightly better pay grade, in another part of the country, or enough of a pay grade where you're like, hey, that's looking pretty attractive. Um, Before you do anything else, before you start house hunting, before you start checking the real estate market, before you contact a realtor, before you start looking at like cost of living expenses, look and join the Facebook groups for the support for the state and the area in which you're thinking of going to. Lurk in the group, check to see what kind of health care is available, if there are doctors in the area that can work with you, how much, if any, in any way, your doctors, your current care team can work with you. um Still, if you can get back to see them, whatever, if they do telehealth, because seriously, if you have chronic pain, illness, and or a rare disease, uh, a doctor that knows you, understands you, is willing to admit when they don't know what they don't know, and is happy to look up with you and learn as you learn, is worth their weight in gold, and protect that person at all costs and stay put. Okay. Plant yourself in that area and do your best to stay still. We've moved a lot, uh, because it's just, where we are. And it hasn't helped the medical side, but it's just been a necessary part of our lives. Anyway, is there anything I can do feel about it? Living with a lymphoma like Walden, living with a lymphoma like Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia often requires major life adjustments. That's all right, no problem. It's important to take care of it every. It's important to take advantage of every resource that you can. Talk with your healthcare provider about foods to eat and activities that promote self-care. You know what? I'm more interested in doctors actually wanting to work with you to provide care that's accessible, real, and served without a side of medical gaslighting. But hey, that's all right, cool. I'll focus on self-care. That's fine. Um, Reach out to others with their conditions to combat possible feelings of isolation. Hi, Internet. How are you? I'm supposed to reach out to the Internet so I can combat feelings of isolation.
So basically, have friends is what they're telling you.
I suck at peopling. Hi, Ginger. How are you?
Oh, I can feel all my bones.
That is a statement which unfortunately makes all the sense in the world. And I am very sorry.
This is not comfortable right now.
Take two of those, or
I
one
might
of
have
those.
pneumonia. You might be right.
What have I been? Okay. Because I don't know anything ever.
Well, yes, but I get to bully you because I'm your child. I'm not a medical professional.
And then I get to go, and I was right. So.
And then I still get to call you out on everything. So, like, fair trade.
Yeah. If we go to the urgent care and you have walking pneumonia, I am seriously every single doctor or nurse who walks in the room, I'll be like, I told her a week ago, and she was like, "No, I'm fine. This is normal."
You act as though I am not blood related to you and Dad.
No, I know you are, but see, there are certain things where, like, let's put it this way. If Dad says that,
Besides, I feel mostly fine.
yeah, so I felt mostly fine when I had walking pneumonia too. Okay, what?
Take two of these.
Let me see it. Which one is that? Let's take one of those, and take one of
This doesn't want to open.
no, you.
It
Sorry.
also doesn't want to be held either.
One
apparently.
second. Oh my god. Okay. There's going to be an episode, obviously, episode 3 and episode. This is probably going to be like a 10-part series that I have to do. And I'm going to make sure everybody knows, because I'm going to have to make sure that I'm not rehashing all of everything and kind of like going in progression for episode 3, because I can't go on, too much longer. I kind of figure this is like the rabbit hole researching, like
I took 2 of these a little bit ago, didn't I?
you did, but you also don't like BC Goody powder, and that contains stuff, things that help control pain, right? Yeah, your hormones are effed up because you're effed up
Every
because
day I wonder why people need water to swallow those things.
every day I think you're weird. Okay, so anyway, things you can do to feel better. Major life changes, food, self-care, reach out to other people. I suck at peopling, but hi, internet. You're not alone in your diagnosis. No, I just have to be in a room with a million people so I can find the 2 or 3 other people who have the same condition. I don't feel alone at all. Even if it feels like it at first, ask your doctor to connect you with support groups. Okay. A note from Cleveland Clinic. Researchers haven't discovered a cure for Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. Hey, Cleveland Clinic, if anybody sees this, you can case study the F out of me all you want, because I was going to talk to Mayo and see if they wanted to do it. But if you want to one-up on them, I'm petty and I'm here for it. I mentioned I'm Mexican, right? We survive with dark humor. All right. And my friend who's a nurse always is like, she's like, I wish to God I'd known you in high school because I'd have dragged your ass into the medical field. She's like, you'd be a perfect freaking like nurse. Perfect. And I was like, yeah, probably. Anyway. Treatments for helping people with WM, Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, mother effing, Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia.
It's a dumb word. I don't like it. I have
Yeah.
personal beef with a word.
I have personal beef with the word too. It's very, very many syllables.
There's no word that is in the English lexicon needs that many syllables.
I can't even drink carbonated water or carbonated seltzers because I'm allergic to carbonation, because I'm allergic to ethylene dihydrochloride. Okay. Yeah, that one I can spell. Okay. Because I've known that one since the offspring was 10 months old. Hi.
I'm adorable and precious and you love me.
You're exactly the opposite of what you just said. For all the first 2. For the first, huh? Yep, and that's You're adorable, but also, and precious, but also, and I love you, but also.
You're still stuck with me.
Yeah, I know. You're like, it's like when my grandfather would feed like a street dog, and it ended up adopting him and just staying in his backyard.
I am your biological child.
You are. Unfortunately for you. Nods her head like, well, yeah. Okay. Okay.
I could have gotten luckier.
What?
I could have gotten luckier.
Look, you're the one that told me when you were 2 that you actually sat on a star, saw me and Dad out on a date, and you picked us to be your parents.
Did I know about this then, though?
I'm pretty sure. Look, all I'm saying is when it's your turn in forever in a day to go back up there and find that star, whichever angel or guiding light was like, yeah, sure, great pick. You might want to find them and be like, what the, a hint would have been great. Okay. So treatments are helping people with WM live longer than ever without sacrificing their quality of life. Great. I wish the same was true for people with mast cell activation syndrome who are allergic to all H1s and most other mast cell activation medications. And didn't come with doctors who are like, you don't need the thing you can take that fixes everything, because it's not supposed to fix that, even though it fixes everything. And people have seen that it fixes everything. And it says on the Mayo Clinic paperwork, yes, I'm supposed to take X medication for X number of times a day at this many milligrams. And current physicians are like, yeah, so I don't think that's right. Sure. Okay. Care at Cleveland Clinic. See, the other words are making me stumble on 2-syllable words. Y'all broke me. We offer comprehensive Waldenstrom macroglobulin. That one I can pronounce. We offer comprehensive Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia care. Our experts use the latest tests and treatments to offer the most personalized care. Cool. Who wants to start? Should I start a fucking GoFundMe to get to Cleveland Clinic? What the hell? Because nobody here. I sent the paperwork going, hey, doc, what? Last week. I didn't get a reply until today from the nurse. Yeah, I know. I'm not the only patient. I get it. But I put rare blood cancer diagnosis, what, in the, subject line. And I'm figuring that might have, like, I don't know, bumped me up on the
what?
Huh?
On the what list?
Yeah, on the patient list. No, no. Today I was. Wow, this is certainly a lot of information, says the nurse, replying. You might want to make another appointment with your doctor, who just told you that you don't need the medication that you can take, that you're not allergic to. That actually is your umbrella condition, because if that's controlled, everything else seems to be controlled. And hasn't even acknowledged or apologized, even though it wasn't his fault, because he didn't know. Yeah, he knows I'm allergic to ethylene hydrochloride. Yes, he may have suggested that I get a corticosteroid before the MRI, even though, the entire classification of medications is out. And I reminded him as such. That's why I have to break down that entire classification of medications and list every single one on my list. So my list of allergens, of 832 allergens, is probably, not kidding, going to top 1,000. I'm going to have a comma and zeros in my number of allergens by the time I am done with this bullshit. And probably have earned myself another honorary, never going to see money for it, medical degree, because I'm doing my doctor's jobs for them. Because if I don't tell them I'm allergic to it, they're going to give it to me. The scrub cap. If you have coconut allergy and you have to go in for surgery, if you're pregnant and you get the scrub cap because you're getting you're getting a C-section, you're just going under for anything. Okay, number one, if you have MCAS, make sure you're getting the safest anesthesia for you. And two, if they go to intubate you, the lubes that they use for getting scopes and crap down your esophagus, my airway slammed shut during an upper endoscopy 5 years ago. The second they inserted the scope and got it past like the curve, I was told they had to yank it immediately and quote unquote initiate rescue. I did not ask for further clarification, but I'm guessing that it involved an EpiPen or two. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, we are going to be going to an episode 3, but on YouTube, please make sure you follow over or subscribe over on YouTube, because this is probably way more fun for y'all if you can actually see what I'm sharing. I have 556 subscribers as of this time. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I need you to please support me over on YouTube, because I have a lot more freedom over here than I do anywhere else. Just looking at some weird comments. Okay, on YouTube. Anyway, all right. So give me a second here. So, knowing all of that, okay. 30. I can do 15 more minutes probably. All right. So, mind you, I'm allergic to latex because of ethylene dichloride. My latex allergy is progressive. Every few years, I lose a bunch of stuff that seems to be like, wow, that was fast. But then you look back and you're like, no, that was a slow buildup. This year, I've lost stevia and monk fruit and carbonated items. My soda stream is a poison maker for me. That's great. Seltzer, anything carbonated, right, for drinking. Oh yeah. I've lost any cottage cheese that contains mono and diglycerides, because I finally learned that cottage cheese quite often has coconut derivatives in it. And I've lost everything. I've lost all H1s except for Benadryl, or I am diphenhydramine, and my last nerve, I lost that too. So here we go. All right. So let me find corticosteroids on this list so that I can, one second. Yeah, we're going to stick first to, I already know I'm allergic to all the chemo, but I will create a second list after I update the allergy list first, right? And the second document is going to be for specifically I'm slurring the word, but I'm totally sober, blood cancer word. Coconut, jackfruit. If you're vegan and you eat jackfruit as as a latex, as a meat substitute, and you're allergic to latex, please just look that up, okay? Because all that little white goo inside of it, yeah, the sticky that's actual latex. Just so you know. Sorry about that. Okay. Monk fruit, stevia, ragweed, mesquite. Mesquite trees like in Arizona, the kind you make like barbecue from, like barbecue chips, barbecue sauce, wood chips, mesquite, like wood chips for your grill or like mesquite wood for like your fire pit. Yeah, all of that. I was told by my allergist in Arizona, who is why I'm not in Arizona anymore because he told us we had to move to where there were Canadian accents and snow. Look at my hand. Can you see the comic book like scrap like filling in of the lines? That's my Baychettes. That is nothing else but my Baychettes. That is my Baychettes. I can't take it. I have medication I can take for this, but I have to ration it. Um, because what if the next reaction is worse than this? Meaning I have to wait for actual and like maybe I need to go to the hospital. Maybe and the average person will go to the hospital for this kind of reaction. I have mast cell. I can't just go to the hospital. I've been told by plenty of doctors, don't bother coming unless you can breathe, unless you can't breathe, because that's what they're set up for. Not, I'm sorry, I have 2 or more body systems affected, but I can breathe perfectly fine and I can drive myself here. They're going to look at you. Well, they might look at you because it's happened to me and be like, and you came in, why? Not kidding. Yeah, gutta percha. If you have a root canal, the adhesive part that they use to actually like adhere the root canal that comes from the gutta percha tree, the tree sap from the tree, which is in the rubber tree family. So, yep. Looking. Oh, and 1 tree 100 miles away from mesquite can cause anaphylaxis in a person who is airborne allergic to mesquite. That's why the doctor was like, "Yeah, you have to move now." Me, House Phoenix, him, no, actual Canadian accents and snow. You can't be within 100 miles of a tree. By the way, until you move, you can't leave your house. And your windows have to be closed unless you're coming straight to a doctor or like going from your car to another inside place and from the inside place back to your car, because you can't. Oh, and N95 masks contain coconut fibers. Look up VOG masks, VOGMASK. They're not making any money off of them. They don't know I exist. They have 2 masks, one in black, one in natural cream color, that are safe for coconut allergy because they don't contain coconut fibers in the filter. If you have EDS, connective tissue disorder, I highly suggest looking at their mask holder. My collagen in my ears does not hold a mask. It literally slides off. So they know I exist. I should rephrase that. They know I exist. I just I'm not making any money off of this, but the owner was kind enough to send me a mask holder for free, and I highly recommend. Okay, I'm trying to find. Blood pressure cuffs can be latex. Plungers and syringes can be latex. Xolair is latex potential allergy. IV tubes. Toothbrushes with rubber grips. By the way, swimming pools are basically latex soup. Yeah, I said those words. Because even if you're wearing a safe for you swimming outfit, everybody else is going to be in their goggles, caps, and spandex made swimsuits, flippers, and all their other, you know, pool toys and gear. Yeah, flippers, goggles for swimming, all of that. That's latex soup. Okay. Mm-hmm. Did I not list corticosteroids? Never mind. I'm over here going, did I not? Right, of course. I'm only on. I'm looking at number 104 right now. I have 832. Okay. Let's just. I probably did. Okay, so if I'm allergic to ethylene chloride, that means I found that part. 1 second, right? By the way, I'm experimenting with making homemade dog treats that do not contain ethylene hydrochloride and or coconut, because the last thing I need, because they usually contain both, and this includes dog food. And the last thing I need is my Pomeranian or my Chihuahua Terrier mix to be like, hey, time to kiss mom on the face right after they finish eating, and then I go poof. No. Mm-mm. So I'm gonna be working on that. I don't know if I'll call it like safe kiss. Maybe I'll do like a made to order like thing if people like the idea, because there aren't any safe options in the stores that I've seen. Oh, and if you're allergic to latex and or shellfish, you definitely probably want to talk to your doctor about the safety of any kind of dog treats and or food that uses bugs like exoskeleton, like crickets, as like the protein source, because shared proteins, shellfish, roaches, latex. Okay, follow the lines. Okay. Um, ethylenediamine chloride, ethylenediamine chloride, van, and see ethylenediammonium, what the mother, ethylenediammonium, huh? This one makes macroglobulinemia easy. Yeah.
I hate this.
These are all the
worst
names.
part of medical research is having to read the names.
These seriously, these are all the things: chlorothamine, immunophiline, triproenamine, piperazines like claritin, loratadine, cetirizine, which was my, I thought, safe H1. No, I can't take anything past Gen 1 for antihistamines, because H1's Gen 2 and on are automatically contain ethylene hydrochloride, also known as EDD. Bisterol, ethylene dihydrochloride, anti-motion sickness medications. Antivert, bonine, Dramamine 2, meclizine, piperazine, antipsychotics such as clozapine, flufenazine, olanzapine, perfenazine binders. This is all from dermnet.org, I believe. Bleach activators, shellac surfactants, emulsifiers, and dispersants. Topical medicaments. Antihistamine drugs, only safe options, muscular Benadryl. All right. Where did I write corticosteroids? And I wrote it somewhere. All right. Is anybody hanging out on YouTube watching? I don't know. One is watching. Hi. Hi, my one person. Good. Look, you can see it. Let's switch the thing. Let's switch. Let's All right, now we're gonna share. That was weird. Why am I still talking? It's kind of. I just talked too loud, and I'm not gonna like it when I find myself again. 1 minute. Where is the YouTube? Where is the YouTube so I can turn it down? See? I knew it was going to piss me off. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's there. Turn that off. Okay. I don't need to be like I'm fine. Okay, so corticosteroids. So we already know that I'm allergic to corticosteroids because of ethylenodiamine dichloride. Complete. Let's share this instead. Want me to rabbit hole research for you? Because my life needs purpose and I'm allergic to the world. So I need to oh my god. Oh yeah, child dishes. Wait, you can wait till I'm done. It's fine. I'm almost done. All right. Did I just write complete list? Is that literally all I wrote? Yeah, complete research. Good job. 1 minute. Complete list corticosteroids. Okay. List of corticosteroids. No, we're not using Wikipedia as a source. Medicine.net. That sounds a little safer. Corticosteroid comparison chart. List of corticosteroid healthfully.com. Trying to find the most. Holy cow, 5.1. Thank you for the likes, guys. I had no idea. There's rx's.com, but rhymes with rugs. Yeah. With the algorithm didn't like that word very much. Okay. Ow. So yeah, that still hurts from falling. I'm getting rid of 2 pairs of Crocs. Actually, I got rid of four pairs of Crocs because of falling. No more, like, I had to get rid of my bay. I had to send those back. Basically, like, if it's a platform, it has to be like the flat platform. And I'm sad because I have to also get rid of my siren heels too, because I don't need to be finding out that I'm unstable or instability with walking. When my connective tissues in my brain decide not to be connected, I don't need to be finding out as I'm like trying to not eat pavement. Topical corticosteroids choices and application. I don't want just topical. Okay, there's medications that are immunosuppressive or immunomodulatory. I'll be looking at that one. I'm going to open that one up for later. Inhaled corticosteroids for asthma, Kaiser Permanente. Permanente. Excuse me, sorry. I am bubbly. This is ironic. Complete list corticosteroid prescriptions. Signalcare.com. Let's just go with medicine.net. Itch. Medicine.net. Medicinenet.com. All right. Now we're going to, 1 second, go back to this one. And we're going to list a whole new category right here. We're going to start this one here. I don't care. No. We're going to start at the bottom. So I'm not recount. I did not do this like in an Excel sheet, so everything like automatically like renumbers itself. I did it the dumb way. I did it manually. Okay. 1 minute. We'll go back to share screen. All right. Sorry, I did not know I was not sharing the screen. Okay. So, fudge. See, this is fun like gaming, but not. Okay. All right. Ethylene chloride coconut allergens. And all right, let's see. We're just again, if this results in doubles on my list, I don't care. Because share. Okay, I'm sharing that. All right. So again, I need you over on YouTube. I don't care if you just sign up as a subscriber and click like, and watch for a few minutes, or if you've got a second device and like leave it in the other room or on your TV or whatever. So I can get some. I need the watch hours and I need the numbers. Because I can't make this channel anything without you guys supporting me. Goblin. It does not have the word goblin in it. Imia. I probably spelled that wrong. I don't know. I'm spelling this out like I am writing a shopping list for like the first time I'm sending like, I don't know. I remember the list my Thea sent me with when the first time she sent me to the grocers when I was visiting her in Mexico when I was like 13. Ow! That is because of Behçet's disease. Skin hardened, gets caught. Oh, and by the way, I can't put anything on it because I'm also allergic to Neosporin. I can literally outlander this and I can cover it. I can pour alcohol on it. I have cheap whiskey on the countertop, not because I can drink it, but because it doesn't contain the possibility of coconut, like isopropyl alcohol sometimes does. It's gonna hurt like a mother. All right, ow! 1 minute. Sometimes this helps, sometimes no. Okay, let's try no. I put a little bit of chromosomal sodium on it. All right. Let me know if you've actually watched YouTube. Okay, YouTube. Please subscribe. All right. Corticosteroids. MCAS, macro globulinemia. I know I spelled that wrong. If you're watching the screen share on YouTube, it's okay. I'll fix it later. Now to go back over here and find that list. Okay. And if anybody says at the doctor's office, We need to check you for every single one of these. And be like, no, you don't. You can call Henry Ford Hospital. I was diagnosed 17 years ago. This allergy does not go away just because you want it to. Naturally occurring corticosteroids like hydrocortisone and cortisone are produced by the outer portion of the adrenal gland known as the cortex, hence the name corticosteroid. Corticosteroids are classified as either glucocorticosteroids, anti-inflammatory, which suppresses inflammation, immunity, and assists in the breakdown of fats, carbohydrates, proteins, or as mineral corticosteroids, salt retaining that regulate the balance of salt and water in the body. So I'm allergic. I'm allergic to me. Okay. Synthetic corticosteroids may mimic the actions of naturally occurring corticosteroids and may be used to replace corticosteroids in people with adrenal glands that are unable to produce adequate amounts. What about if you just can't handle them because you're allergic to them? Examples of synthetic corticosteroids include fine. So all of these, I'm just going to copy here. And then this is from medicine.net. What is this? medicinenet.com corticosteroids oral article page. Here's where I'm screen sharing, where I'm getting that information from. And I'm putting this in all caps because my doctor's going to love me. All caps. All caps. Share this instead. Can't get much clearer than that. Are they still going to doubt me? Yes. Okay. All right. So, corticosteroids, MCAS, macroglobulinemia treatments automatically allergic due to ethyl chloride, according, let me spell that correctly, to Henry Ford Medical Clinic Center, hospital system. There you go. Hospital. And dermnet.org. Okay. Examples of corticosteroids include, mind you, we were 832, right? Okay, now 833. Prednisone. 834. Prednisone, Opred or Predl or something. 835. Triaminocolone. I already know, like I said, some of these are going to end up being doubles and triplicates on here, but my doctors apparently need the entire hand-holding experience, so we're doing this. Aristospan intraocular, Aristospan intralesional Kenalog. Awesome. Methylprednisone, Medrol, Medrol, Medrol. Yep. Okay. 837. These are the number of allergies I have right now. Dexamethasone. 838. I can't walk in and tell a doctor what I can have. Not in my situation. Basically, I have to front and find out, nod and smile, give them the list of everything I'm allergic to, and have them go, wait a minute, but that means you can only take, what you were going to tell me you could take from the beginning, but that I didn't believe you about. Oh, that, yeah. I'd have to just survive until they figure it out. No big deal. Been surviving out of spite this long. Where is Here we go. All right. So now some glucocorticosteroids, also in addition to their anti-inflammatory actions, blah, 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 blah. Ow! This feels like somebody has a blowtorch. That's just like right there, right there, right there. This whole thing right here is, ow. The whole thing feels like it's about to burst because it's so fucking swollen. And the most frustrating part is knowing that you need to take it, but you have to make it go away and stop, but you can't do it because it has to last you till Tuesday because your doctor didn't apologize for the fact you got latex and coconut exposure during an MRI, multiple sources, and basically said, sorry, too bad, so sad, that you were running out of medication before your appointment because that's your problem, that you had a reaction, not mine. He didn't say that. It's just the vibe I'm getting. Okay. Okay, so hey, Squirrel fan, how are you? Okay, examples of oral and injectable corticosteroids. Yes, we're listing all of them. I'm not copying the ads. I don't have that kind of, no. Son of a mother. I know I saw a Band-Aid on here somewhere, and it is latex allergy free. And yes, I know the adhesive contains all I can feel is this piece right here. That little on fire. It's on fire. It's on fire. It burns. I moved it. Okay. All right. 838. Pretend everything's fine. That's what we do anyway, right? Okay, so 830 glucosteroids, 838 hydrocortisone, 839 cortisone, 840. Ethamethosaneb, celestone, 841. Prednisone, 842. Prednisolone, 8. Ow. Oh. Huh. My nerve endings are on fire right now. 842. 843. Prednisolone, prelone, triaminocolone. Yep, like I said, I already know I wrote that one down, but doctors don't automatically realize they need to cross-reference everything. I do. By the way, if you work in the medical field, you need somebody to cross-reference or allergy audit your patients lists, patients' allergies with cross-referencing and figuring things out you don't have time for because you've got 15 minutes each patient. Hit me up. I got time. That's what I do anyway. Ow, mother fucker. Okay. So triaminocolone. Kenolog methylprednisolone. I think okay. Dexamethasone was 844, 845. Mineral corticosteroid, flutocortisone. That's 846. My blood vessels are pissed off. You can feel all your bones. My blood vessels are pissed. All right, so. Oh, ow. 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 That. Mm. Should this? I'm just scrolling through, making sure I didn't miss anything. So I'm trying to see. Follow if you can. I'm on YouTube, live streaming on YouTube, where you can see what I'm screen sharing as I try to build a list of what I'm allergic to for my doctors, so that when after I eliminate all the obvious stuff or list all the obvious stuff like mast cell stabilizing medications, and blah 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 and everything else, I can get to the things that are usually prescribed for treatment options for the macroglobulinemia, the blood cancer, lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, type of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. All right, so that's corticosteroids off the list. Okay, we're done with that one. We're up to 846. So that means next we put we are going to list every single antihistamine separately. share. All right, screen share changed to the correct screen. Allergic due to try not to type without moving. All right, so I started the next list. You can watch episode 1 and episode 2. This is episode 2 on MCAS, allergies, and blood cancer on my YouTube channel. So you can actually check and watch with the screen shares. And please like, please comment, please let it play the whole time so that the algorithm knows that I'm here, so I can get my watch hours. And please subscribe so that I can hopefully break the 1,000 subscriber minimum so that I can become eligible for monetizing the channel, because I need your support to do that. And I would sincerely appreciate it. All right, so we're going to end here with the cliffhanger of episode 3. I'm going to give a 5-minute, maybe 5 to 10 minute max catch up. Let you guys know that you can watch episode 1, episode 2 on the YouTube channel. Why can I feel my hair? Yeah. Okay. And we're going to start with antihistamines, already listed. Okay. But again, we need to make sure that this is spelled out. Let me put it this way. When I was a reporter for community newspapers, I got hired straight out of college to be a city editor for a community newspaper in the Metro Detroit area. And my first assignment was a school board meeting. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I had a city council meeting the next night. I called the city manager. I am 22 years old. I called the city manager and I flat out said, "Hi, I'm the new reporter at such and such newspaper." He's like, "Oh, great, cool. I've been waiting for you to call. Awesome." He's like, "We should have lunch sometime." Cool, let's do that. I said, "But before we do that, I'm working on a story about the meeting last night, city council meeting, and I'm going to be completely frank with you. I'm 22. I just graduated college. I have no idea what 90% of the things you guys were talking about last night actually are. I've never paid a mortgage. I've never had to pay like taxes, like outside of what is taken from my paycheck. I have no idea what. Can you please explain everything that happened last night that was on the agenda to me like I'm 6? Because if I don't understand what you're talking about, no one's going to understand what I'm writing about, because I need to understand it to be able to write about it. And that was probably the most autistic thing I've ever said in my life. But it made sense. And the city manager was like floored. And like he stopped, like didn't talk for a minute. Was like, "I'm actually very impressed, because you're the first reporter we've ever had who's been like, look, I don't know, please explain." I'm like, that makes my job is to ask questions, but to ask the questions and explain the what, the who, the why, and the where to the reader, I need to have at least a basic understanding of the basic concepts, and to be able to get quotes from the experts to cover and the bridges and fill the gaps where it's necessary. But I at least have to have a basic understanding of how to put this together. Basically, if I can't read the pictorial directions for a Lego building set, a block building set, I can't put it together, right? So same thing with how to structure an article. And that's where I'm at. I have to basically spell everything out for my doctors going forward, whoever that may include, because I can guarantee you I'm going to end up getting something I'm allergic to handed to me, given to me, injected to me, whatever, if I show up in a hospital setting unconscious. And I don't want to do that. So we are on 8:30. We are on 8:46. We finished flutocortisone, 8:46. We are going to start episode 3 on antihistamines. Antihistamines, all options allergic due to ethylenediamine dihydrochloride. 1 second. Again, per Henry Ford Medical System testing. I'm going to have to print that out now. And dermnet.org. There. So that's where we're starting tomorrow. I don't know what time I'm going to be on. It might be during normal people hours. It might be after my husband goes to sleep. But I'm going to set a timer, and I can do an hour and a half, and then I'm done. So, and then I'll move on to episode 4. So we can probably do one family at a time. And get to, and then after that, it's going to be the chemo options. So chemo, this is so that I have okay. This is just so I have like a visual of what I'm covering next. All right, cool. Logging off on YouTube. If you've been watching this long, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Share the video with any of your friends. If you happen to be the one of 3 to 4 out of every million people in the United States who happens to have been invited to the same shit party, say hi. According to in the articles I've read, that's going to make us feel less isolated, and it'll help us feel less alone. So, yeah, I'm here. If you are, I'm with you. All right. Signing off. See you in the next video. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a safe night, YouTube. Don't know where the video is. In a minute. There you are. Found you. Okay. All right, cool. A minute. Why aren't you doing that? Okay, cool. Here I am. Hi. Have a good night. Please stay safe. If you have any questions that you don't want to ask publicly, I do priority for patrons and subscribers. YouTube, you can subscribe for free. So patrons, TikTok subscribers, and we can do private condos and Patreon actually too, which is pretty cool. So like nobody else has to know your business. Okay. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice, but I am a research rabbit hole junkie, and everybody's worst nightmare and somebody's dream case study. So that's where we're at. See you in the next video.